Are you ready to eliminate your credit card processing fees? Visit www.pairpayments.com and use code JAKE for a $250 Visa gift card when you join today. Welcome back to Under Pressure. Today, I'm very excited to be in person with my co-host, Brad Williams, and today we have Joe Schoettle joining us. Joe is the inventor of the NeutraPod, and I'm very excited to talk to you today, Joe. We're going to talk about NeutraPods, this gutter tool you've brought to talk to us about, and Mango Mauler, which is not yet available, but smells really good. I just smelled that before the show. So, Brad, thank you for joining us, and Joe, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, man, it's
guys.
always fun. This is like a first for Under Pressure to have a product that like we're like bringing it, like talking about it ahead of time, like sneak peeks on products.
This is definitely a sneak. There's only a handful of people that are aware of the Mango.
Well,
Mauler.
now there's going to be another handful.
Yeah, a little bit bigger of a handful.
So in the past, what we have done is we've had people come on the show to talk about, products and services that can help you grow your business. Whether that's being able to do more jobs, upsell, be able to be more efficient with your time and optimize your business. This is actually the first time with all that we've done, all the promotions and stuff like that. We've never had a product that I've been able to get my own hands on. I might have talked with the inventor or the owner of the company at length beforehand. But this is the first time that I've been able to get my hands on the product. And with the Mango Mauler, I was actually able to smell it, take a look at that.
One of the very first people to be able to smell it.
Oh, wow. And that because that product is not yet available, is that right?
Not yet available.
And the funny thing, Jake and I, we're not washers. And, we've come into this space like from outside a little bit. But one thing I have learned is that there's a whole lot of things in the pressure washer that are not really friendly to touch or smell.
Yes, this is non-hazardous. You're good.
We don't have to try eating them.
Yeah.
These are not Tide Pods.
Yeah, do not eat the NeutraPods, please.
So I guess the point I want to start off on in this is because you're the inventor of this product. I'd love to get to know a little bit about you. So for anyone who doesn't know you in the audience that's listening or watching, what is your story, Joe? How did you get into this industry?
Over 20 years ago, with an electric Karcher pressure washer. I didn't know what I was doing. The guy says, hey, I need someone to clean these penthouse condos on these high-dollar oceanfront condos. Do you know anyone that can do it? I said, well, I'll do it. So I bought a $167 electric Karcher pressure washer, went up there and just started going to town, and got $3,000 and said, I could do this. And threw that electric Karcher in the dumpster with the biggest smile on my face, and collected my $3,000 for the work I did. I definitely undercharged. I didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't know anything, and I just started from there, and just kept going with it.
So you start with an electric washer. You're off to the races. When does the NeutraPod come into play?
20 years later.
Yeah. So what was the need that you saw arising that you needed to solve with this product?
All right. So the typical two ways was to bag gutters and then try to figure out what to do with the stuff that was in the bag that you collected.
And what, for anyone who doesn't know, what are we talking about here?
From a roof wash, the runoff. And then, we were having to get creative to dump this stuff out, like in the landscaping or in the customer's fire pit or wherever we can hide this stuff, because we're not taking it home with us. We don't want to fill their garbage can. We don't want to just dump it in the street gutters. So we had to it was a pain in the butt. Plus, you have to make your gutter bags by zip tying the ends and then getting them on the downspout.
So it's a lot of time.
It was time consuming. Yeah. And then I was talking to a fellow washer that's somewhat in my area, and he was carrying around these plastic tube, like corrugated pipe, not with holes in it, but he was somehow rerouting using pipes to reroute the runoff. And then the other people were pretty much sitting there diluting, with lots of water.
Yeah.
Water is going to be scarce one day, And then sometimes our, different areas will go into water restrictions.
I'm sure if you're in California, it's always like that.
Yeah, so it's not a good image.
Yeah.
To be out there just throwing water constant in a water shortage area.
And there's a cost to that as well.
There is. So the neutralizer can speed up your job overall, not only from using pods in the gutter, but using the NP3000 bulk powder. You could speed up the job by watering less. You're not having to sit there and dilute and dilute and dilute.
So, how did you get the idea to make these things? Like, what was the inspiration? Like, how do you go from you're dealing with this problem, you want to fix it? How did you come up with it?
Is your audience pretty much over 18 years old?
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah.
I'd assume it's all over 18. Yeah.
Is it safe to say the word blue balls?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
This started out as almost like the equivalent of a bath bomb. And they were going to be blue balls. And
that's funny.
And I have business partners, so I'm like, we are calling these blue balls. So we were getting in a pretty good argument there. Yeah. And everything was good about them. The only problem was the process of manufacturing, the drying time, the breakage, the packaging. It wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
To scale. So we sat back down and we said, what are we going to do? Let's come up with a dissolvable packaging. So we were able to source a dissolvable packaging and get our product in it. And that's how this came about.
So bath bombs were actually kind of the inspiration of seeing those work.
I didn't even know what a bath bomb was, but I had to research how I wanted to make this product work.
Yeah.
And it was just through that, and then I'm like, oh, okay, there's a bath bomb. Okay.
There's no shame in taking a nice bath. There's no judgment on this show.
I would like to have the time to do that once in a while, but anyway, that's all.
So Joe, tell me, just because we haven't really covered it yet, how does this product work? What is the use of it? You said you throw it up there. How does it work?
Yeah, so the NeutraPods, if you have a one-story gutter, you're going to place a bag about 10 inches before the downspout. And then you're going to gauge how much runoff's going to come from that side. So if you're going to use more than 50 gallons of wash, you're going to want 2 in there. But 50 gallons of product runoff can run through this and be neutralized coming out. And if it's a 2-story or if the gutters are too high and you're going to wash up high, then you would put a bowl at the bottom of the downspout. You throw 1 pod in it, and it will make a trough, a neutralizing trough. So everything coming out is hitting this trough, neutralizing on contact. It's immediate.
That's awesome. And so you're addressing this at each downspout location.
Each downspout location, 10 inches before the downspout, on both sides of the downspout, unless it's at the end on the corner.
And so I'm sure you did a ton of product testing to get here.
There was a lot of product testing. I was sending them out to guys that they didn't know that they were coming. And when we were doing the different batch mixes, we were going down through the alphabet. And I had it narrowed down to, there was 2 that I really wanted more further testing on. One batch was labeled C, and the other was labeled H. So just picture guys are receiving boxes of these white bags with C and H on them.
Yeah,
and
I'm sure TSA love that.
I started getting
flying around
customs,
that.
DEA. So I start getting calls from guys. I'm like, Joe. They're like, Joe, we got a bag, little white bags of powder with C and H showing up at our door. What is this? I'm like, I need you to try it.
So that was your marketing
And then the
model?
second question is, what is it?
Well, so what I see here is his marketing model was, I'm going to give him a free sample. I'm going to get him hooked.
Dope man. Well, we are based in Florida, so this has a Florida, theme to
It's
it.
authentic.
Yeah, it's true to Florida.
So in that testing, did you do any kind of looking at the metrics of how much time this could save a contractor. Because I'm just thinking right off the bat, if you're doing, a good amount of jobs in a day and you're able to save time, you might be able to fit in an upsell service to another client in that day. You might be able to fit in another job. I'm just curious. Do you know that time savings?
We did look into that, and we really looked into risk reduction.
Okay.
So
that's more important here.
You could take some big money losses if you ruin an expensive plant or. So
do you have any stories of that? Were there any stories that you were like,
oh, I've killed plants. Hell yeah, I've killed plants before these, and before the MP3000. Yeah, I've replaced plants, and I don't like doing that. So, but the risk reduction is, instead of we clean our roofs mostly from the ground. We barely ever get on a roof. And anytime we could get a lower comp code, help someone get a lower comp code, that's money savings, especially if you have a lot of guys that paying a lot of comp.
Yeah.
So,
hey, from what I've heard about trees, I know that there are some people out there that love to decorate their houses with like very, very expensive trees that are so expensive they could put you out of business if you have to replace them. So I love that. Hey, if we're talking about how to grow your business, I mean, growth reduction or risk reduction is incredibly
it's
important.
a real thing. That's like the gutter tool that we have. That the whole purpose of that is keep you guys off the roof.
Yeah. Well, I've been thinking about a product that we sell at TCAM that you spray it on the roof and leave it, and so that washing process is happening in the rainfall afterwards. Nobody's standing there to neutralize it at the bottom of the downspout. Nobody's so. I think
if you get a light rain right after you wash and you walk away and you have a light rain, you could kill every plant on that property.
Exactly.
Oh wow!
And then another thing that's kind of showing up in our area is that about 3 years ago, a lot of guys jumped into the soft washing.
Yeah.
With no education. Yeah. Just throwing high heat chlorine up there, high percentage. And once you add surfactant, that chlorine can go where rainwater doesn't. So the nails that were holding the barrel tile and Spanish tile or the concrete tile, the nails were corroding out. So there's been buildings where there's sections of roof tile where the nails have corroded and the tiles are sliding down. So back to risk reduction. If you have an insurance adjuster, and they could be like pit bull lawyers almost, pit bulls.
Oh, they are.
And they're like, did you do anything to neutralize the corrosive that you sprayed on this roof? Well, if you say you just walked away, you didn't do anything. You're negligent. If you say, I just sprayed water, well, surfactant that made the product wetter to get in areas where the water wouldn't normally doesn't have water doesn't have a surfactant to get back to where that chlorine is. This has a surfactant. This has a surfactant, which is a soap marker. Excuse me, a soap marker. The MP3000 has a soap marker, but that soap marker is also a surfactant that allows that chlorine or the neutralizer to get where the surfactant and the chlorine was able to get. That water won't get, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It makes a lot of sense.
Sounds very valuable.
So now we are actually making sure that we are neutralizing roofs and rinsing roofs, contrary to what everyone says to do. We are, that way we know, if someone comes to us and says, did you, after spraying corrosive, did you do anything to stop the corrosion?
Yeah, you covered your butt.
And now I've covered my butt.
Yeah.
So this sounds like an amazing product. Joe, can you tell us, where do people in the audience that are probably maybe just hearing about this for the first time, where do you find NeutraPods? Where can they go get them?
Okay, so throughout the rest of this year, Power Wash Store has an exclusive on these. And then from now to January, Power Wash Store.
Yeah.
After January, they're going to be going into other locations where the NP3000 is found, and it'll be part of a neutralizing system, so you'll be able to get it as a, you
Is there
get them both to
a
make the system.
list of distributors that somebody can get, like on the website or anything like that?
For these now, it's just Power Wash stores.
No,
So
for
all
like for your other
the
product.
NP3000, we should compile a list.
Well, sometimes it's hard to find
Yeah,
things.
we don't have it, but the Lori Smith store on the West Coast,
Yeah.
they have it. Manatee Pressure Washing Supply, they have it.
Yeah.
Heath Phelps out in Texas has it. Some of the South Florida stores have it.
Yeah.
Coastal down there has it. It's starting to, it's somewhat new, and it's really starting to spread. And the orders have been nice.
That's
very,
awesome.
very cool. So you brought a special product today that is still new. We do want to cover that while we're here. We want to hear a little bit more about it. Now, it smelled like something we should make mixed drinks out of, but I don't think that's what we're doing today.
It smells like it'd be good in a mojito.
Yeah,
like a mango mojito. Huh?
Yeah, and it's in just the right packaging to be able to pour that right
exactly. So tell us a little bit about what you brought and what you have here, and what's this new thing that you guys are working on.
This new thing, I don't think I'm going to discuss the numbers involved in this right now.
Okay.
However, this is a hyper concentrate. So it's not just a concentrate, it's hyper concentrate.
So what does that mean?
So this little baggie here is going to make 128 gallons of surfactant.
Wow.
So if you picture going to the store and you got 5-gallon buckets that you got to ship out somewhere, this will fit in flat rate shipping and make what's in a 5-gallon bucket.
Wow.
Which is huge, because shipping is astronomically expensive. I mean, how big is this bag? Is this
It's
16 ounces?
About 16 ounces.
Yeah.
So we are, we have that out in testing. It's, we're actually bringing, I think my partner's bringing 30. We're bringing some product up here tomorrow to hand out to some guys that we're just going to randomly ask them to use it.
It does smell fantastic. It's like reminding me of bath time as a young child.
Yeah,
It smells great.
There's been a lot of talk about baths on there.
everyone has apple. I don't want apple. I want mango. I'm from Florida. I want tropical. Let's talk tropical. But so this is going to this is going to get guys' costs down from what they're paying, especially when it comes to shipping. Their
Storage, shipping, handling.
storage, handling.
Yeah.
You're not breaking your back to unload these things. You basically suck all the water out of a product that's on the shelf, and you get down to the nitty gritty. We all have water at our house, on our trailer, at the customer. We can make this easy. You just dump it in your tank and throw the water in. So this is it's going to be different.
Hey, this sounds like a product that will help you increase your profit margins if you can really get that cost down.
It will really get the cost down, especially one of the guy that's testing that today right now. He's on a roof spraying this right now, and for him to get a bucket of the surfactant that he's been using, it's costing him $200 for a 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah, it's outrageous.
And then he's taking another product and mixing it in there as well. And each time he's making a 15-gallon batch for his proportioning tank on his truck, he's probably paying about $50 to get professional products in this tank. This is going to bring it down.
Do you have a price? So you're hearing it here first, folks. This is an unreleased product, not available. Do you have a price range?
As long as you promise not to hold me to this,
All right.
that's going to retail about $22.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's amazing.
yeah, and you will probably end up seeing it on Amazon, so it'll be free shipping with next day delivery.
Oh, wow.
Not next door, but next day delivery.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to get it quick and easy.
And the equivalent of 5 gallons.
So 5 gallons would be 5 of these packs.
Okay.
These little packs. So 5 of these would equal a 5-gallon bucket.
So 1 pack per gallon.
1 pack per gallon.
Okay.
Yes, that's how that breaks down.
Awesome. So you're basically taking it down. So forgive my math, about 1/8 the weight, 1/8 the packaging, 1/8 the size.
We're taking it all.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a good one.
Which it really opens up. I think that's one of those things like, stuff like this is in so many ways right now has been such a like local regional type product because it doesn't make sense for a lot of guys to, even if they like something, if they can, they're going to buy what they can get locally because the cost to get something else to them doesn't make sense.
Even like I have a professional wash company, and even I will end up going local for surfactant. Everyone has a surfactant. There's so many people, they just stick in a label on the same thing.
Yeah.
Or there's a company out of Tampa that just does private labeling for private labels it for each store.
Yeah.
So we're not about copying. We're about changing things and innovation.
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
This is going to save a lot of money, especially when. So the $200 that the guy pays for the 500 or 5-gallon bucket,
Mm-hmm.
about 100 of it shipping. So he's paying $100 for the 5-gallon bucket, but $100 to get it to himself.
Wow.
Yeah.
I could give you 5 of these in a flat rate box for what, $12?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Or you get it on
savings.
Amazon and prime it. Boop, hit the button.
Yeah.
It's at your door.
Yeah.
So I'm sure everyone cannot wait for that. These sound like 2 amazing innovations in the industry here. But do we have a third here with us today?
We have a third and a fourth, and actually I'll hold off on the 5th one that will follow this.
But we have a third here with us.
We have a third with us here, which is this gutter tool.
All right.
So this gutter tool is different than the other gutter tools. Due to this design, it doesn't get hung up on the gutter spikes.
Mm-hmm.
These are at an angle, so it provides a slight lift. So you're not like, feel the weight of this.
Oh, wow, it's light.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I was imagining it being a little heavier than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, with like front heavy.
Yeah, your other options are pretty damn heavy. So this creates a lift where you're almost flying it.
And just for everyone to see.
And the tips, or you could change the tips, and just by screwing in a different tip, these plastic pieces come off like that. You screw in the different tips in here, and you go with a larger orifice size, and that'll reduce your pressure, so you can bring it down to a flow. So you don't have to blast. Guys are like, it's gonna blast shit everywhere. Well, you change the tips, and you can flow stuff out.
Yeah.
You can roll it to the end and off the end. A lot of guys will start at one end and try to bring it all down to the one end, and it's going to flop off all the way across. But if you start at the one end, you do a little bit to that end, jump, bring that to the end, jump, bring that to the end. It's controlled.
Yeah.
So just a slight technique change can make a big difference. And then if you have pine needles, if you have this up there and you just slightly angle it like this, so it's hitting that back wall, it's going to push the pine needles controlled.
Oh, wow.
Right where you want them to.
Yeah.
It takes some technique. But a lot of, what was available to guys in the past, it's put such a bad taste in everyone's mouth for a gutter tool. And they're not realizing that this is different.
It's here.
You're seeing this is different than the other options. So.
And was this your invention as well?
Yes, we have. Well, there's 3 of us that worked on this.
Wow.
We have an engineer who's still stuck in India. During COVID, he got stuck out there.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, and this was designed like through that time. But anyway, we have an engineer, and my other partner is out of the chemical industry. So we're knowledgeable guys. So it's not like something cooked up in a basement,
Yeah.
And I know, I think what's cool is, you're kind of giving birth to these ideas out of, real practical problems that you're facing.
If I won't use it, I'm not going to sell it.
Yeah.
I've been running the Surfactor for a while now. I'm happy with it.
I love that.
I use these pods. I love them. The NP3000, I'm using the heck out of it, which is basically the same powder that's in the pod.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have pods and you need neutralizer, you can, if you don't want to throw the thing in there, you could open it up and dump it in if you don't want to wait for the dissolve time on the bag. So,
So you're finding issues in the field, you have a need, and you're solving that pain point
yes.
with these fantastic inventions
yes,
here.
Yes, and we have some tools, but the problem is when it comes to the tools, they take so much money to bring to the market.
Yeah,
they really do. Between patent lawyers and the R&D and the going through different revisions, that all adds up. And to bring something that's beneficial to the end user, it really is a lot of money risk put out.
I'm sure.
So if they don't buy it, you just put out all that money for the greater good.
Yeah.
And if the greater good's not, giving it a shot to see that it's different, then you're still sitting out on a lot of money waiting to reach.
So speaking of bringing this to market, where can you find this gutter tool? Is this on the market now? Where do you find
that? That is on Amazon, and we put a batch on Amazon and it sold out in less than 24 hours.
Wow.
And then we sent Amazon another batch, and it took them. They did a warehouse change of some sort, and for some reason it took weeks, if not a month, to get our stuff back into their inventory system.
Wow.
And now, once that released, we I think Amazon is showing like 2 or 3 parts available right now. So now we have to get some more over there. It's so they're going quick on Amazon.
So what's that called?
It's a good challenge to have. What's the gutter tool? Sorry, how somebody find it?
Yeah.
So Amazon we prefer to you get it from Amazon. We do have a website, hydroprousa.com. But Amazon is a better deal for
And do they just search HydroPro? Is that was
HydroPro USA gutter tool. I wish I had like one of those little scanner things. I'm older than I
Well,
look.
send us a link, and we can throw a link in
in
the description of the video.
Absolutely.
That would be
and you
wonderful.
can just hit that link if you're interested.
That would be wonderful.
And we'll just take 20%, no
20%
more.
royalty. Yeah. Maybe 20%, Brad. I want 25. What the heck? So, thank you, Joe. These are fantastic products. If anyone has any questions about these, the use case, how it could help them with their business, anything, how do they reach you if anyone wants to ask some
I'll
questions?
tell everybody. My phone number is 772-321-2545, and I get calls asking questions. Like, people are always messaging me, texting me, and asking questions. And if I work too, I work, so I'm not like sitting in my living room waiting on the phone for you.
Yep.
If you see me online, I might be at a traffic light trying to do something real quick, but I'll get to you.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you. If I can answer the phone, I will. I guarantee you that. But I'm always available to anyone that has any questions whatsoever. If they're having troubles with anything, like, not knowing what size tips to put in the gutter tool or something like that.
Yeah.
Give me a call. I'm here,
And I can see something like this. I mean, being useful to anyone who's cleaning out their gutters. Even like as a homeowner, if I'm cleaning out my own gutters and I have a pressure washer, why would I not want an easier way to do that?
And then also, like, I call things tools in a toolbox. Like, you look at a mechanic. The mechanic has a drawer that has a whole bunch of screwdrivers that damn near all look the same, but they're different lengths. Does the same tool doing the same. So you could, even if this doesn't become your choice way of doing it, and you like to walk the roof, well, one day you're going to get that metal roof that's on a steep pitch on a sloped front yard, and you're going to have to try to figure out how to get that done. This is a tool that you just get it done. So you're not getting a ladder on an incline. You're not trying to walk on a wet metal roof if there was some moisture or whatever.
Yeah,
so
terrifying.
Tools in a toolbox. I have some tools that I might only use once a year, but I have them.
Yeah.
And when I get that special call,
Yeah.
I know that this guy doesn't have them, and I know that guy doesn't have them.
When you need a tool, having it at the right time makes all the difference. Coming from anybody that's using any tools to do any job. So
What's the price point on that? I don't think
that's a $99 tool.
No.
Once you have the tips, on Amazon, it's coming as a bundle. So you get the tips, which are 25050s. You could run up to like 8 gallon a minute machine on those. The guys running 4 gallon a minute are actually predominantly actually liking these tips, these 25050s on a 4 gallon a minute machine. So it's all what the end user wants. Like what makes you comfortable, what does the job for you in your region. If I have pine needles and you have little tiny oak leaves, you're going to need less pressure than I'm going to need. So it's not,
different use cases.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And then there's guys in the paver ceiling that are taking this shepherd's hook off, threading a straight pipe extension, and they're using this for the bullnose pool coping around the edges of the pools to clean the coping before they're sealing. And that way they don't have to have a guy in the pool trying to do this, And so, you could use this in some other situations. So if you ran a straight pipe and you had to clean manhole walls.
Yeah.
Those poor guys that do that.
Yeah, what an awful job.
Did you see the video of the guy with all the cockroaches all over
No,
him? And he's down in the manhole trying to... What?
No, thank you.
You'd stick this on a straight pipe, stand up top with a beer in your hand.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't. Yeah, I'm just figure of speech.
Yeah.
Figure wherever I'm looking.
Yeah.
Figure of speech.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. These are some very great products. Brad, do you have any more questions for Joe while we have him here?
No, I just want to compliment you for, going out there and doing some grassroots innovations. I think that's kind of the essence of being an entrepreneur, and I think that's a lot of what our show's about, a lot of kind of what we want to convey. Like I hope that these products bring a lot of value, but I also hope that there's a little bit of inspiration. Like, you know what, some of the people listening might have an idea, and they know it would help, but they're like, that's not really what I do. Yeah. And before this, you weren't manufacturing, but you put the right people together, and you've created these things.
You don't have to go to school to learn everything in the world. Just know how to partner up or hire the people that know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you can make it happen, and you just can't give up. We've had it's not an easy task to bring anything to the market. And then once you get there, that's a whole nother thing. So you just got to keep one foot in front of it, just keep going every day, keep going.
Yeah.
And eventually something goes.
Well, thank you. That was a beautiful nugget of information. Find the right people, build your teams, and then get inspired by people here like Joe Schoettle, the inventor of the NeutraPod and
the gutter tool,
the mango mauler, and I'm sure the list will continue to go on and on and
It's
on.
coming.
Yeah.
All right.
Very cool. Well, thanks, Joe. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming on, Joe.
Yes,
thank
sir.
you, Brad. Appreciate being with you in person as always, and it's so nice to do podcasts in person like this, so I can actually get to meet you, talk to you in person, and feel your products, check them out. I appreciate it, Joe. Thank you to the audience for tuning in. Hey, stay tuned. Check out our great roster of guests that we have coming up soon. And as always, like, subscribe, share. That's the most important one. If you know someone who could benefit from listening to this podcast, please share the podcast with them and rate and review so that more people will see the show. So thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.